Hello, you guys, and welcome to the Woman's Cave. I cannot believe we're doing a Thursday Woman's Cave. It feels odd. Normally Thursday is our day off from interviewing people, but this person was so important.
And we work normally.
All Thursday. We do actual office stuff. Oh my goodness, we're so bored.
So unfortunate when you get up in the morning and you're like, do you know what I have to do today? I can't talk to anyone. No. I get to cut on my audiobook and do paperwork all day.
And then we normally finish around 11 p.m.
Right.
So we start at 8 a.m. and get done at 11 p.m. And we never normally get done. But this week we did Wednesday and Thursday. We did Tuesday and Wednesday. So we have Thursday completely off, except we get to talk to people.
I'm so excited to talk to a person. Like, that's super exciting. I was like, what do you mean we get to talk to someone? Like, this is fabulous. This is how you know that, like, Corona has come to ruin all of our lives. When you're just like, someone else that does not live in my home with me. Oh, this is fabulous. This is so fabulous.
I feel like I'm insulted now, like you'd finished talking to me. We should probably be finished this banter stuff. By the way, I'm Wilona.
And I'm Jade, and I'm not finished talking to you. It's just simply, every once in a while, it's good to have, like, another person to talk to.
Okay.
All right?
And we
wrote a bunch. Yeah. Boom. Yep.
There we go.
I got to get back in the shot, young.
Never mind. I should have skipped the elbow.
Yeah, you should have. All right, so we wrote bunches of books. I mean, if y'all know, we wrote Literary Life Guides with poetry. And it starts with the And I Thought series, and I Thought Divorce Was Bad with Other Life Lessons, and I Thought Being Grown Up Was Easy.
Both available on audible.com. I just love, like, interrupting you. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it again. Go ahead.
And then she wonders why I want to talk to another person. I want to get a word in edgewise, maybe. And then we have all the rest of the books. You can check all of that out on.
Oh, you forgot the Misfit Guys
series.
Okay.
See.
Go ahead, finish it. I'm being professional. I'm going to be professional today. Go.
And then we have the Misfit Guide series. And then we have one of our departure books, which is like straight poetry, If Only I Were Me, available on BarnesandNobles.com. And then we are the co-founders of the 25 Hottest Indie Author, Artist, and Advocate magazine. You can check out everything your ladies are doing on www.andwethought.com.
Can I say something?
No. Yeah, you interrupted too many times. Now you have nothing to say. But y'all aren't here to hear about us.
You're here to hear about our wonderful guests. Wonderful guests, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. That's a hard act to follow. I wish I had a double act here. I'm Naomi McDougall Jones, and let's see, 3 things. I make movies for my main thing. I also wrote a book that came out called The Wrong Kind of Women: Inside Our Revolution to Dismantle the Gods of Hollywood. And my 3rd thing is that I do love whiskey. We had a little pre-show discussion, but I have an even better story. I love whiskey, and also I recently discovered that my ancestors in Scotland started a Scotch distillery that's still going.
When are we visiting?
Yeah.
As soon as Corona's over. As soon as it's over. We make plans.
Great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I hate the weather, and I'm still like, let's go.
We know that we're just a short plane ride away from Spain and Greece. When you're in Scotland, it's so close. It's so close.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
let's get back to you.
Yeah,
before this, people, we normally tell our guests that we will get distracted if they mention whiskey, and as Naomi can see, we were immediately distracted.
Down the rabbit hole.
Not lie.
Okay, so let's get back to you, because you do amazing things.
Yes.
And now I remember listening to you speak before, and I think one of the things you said is that the traditional studio path was not meant for women. Did you say that, or was I wrong?
I said something like that, if not that exact thing. I say that, yeah, I mean, basically, the bottom line is if you're not a straight white man, able-bodied man, the studio system was not built for you. To this day, 95% of films are still directed by men in the studio system, and overwhelmingly white men, which is insane because they're 30% of the US population, which means that the perspectives of everybody else are being crammed into that 5% of films made by everybody else, which is just ridiculous and very bad for society.
Oh, Oh, okay, that's what she meant. I just love the fact that you said it, and you were like, no,
Normal people don't say it.
no.
I say it.
By the way,
You might want to go indie.
because, the girls weren't waiting for you. Okay, all right, now that we shared that secret, back to
Real
saying,
conversation.
let's get back to saying, life is good.
I was just like, when you came out and said it, I went, what?
Well, I'm like, and she said it so loud.
I know,
Like
you
she
both
wasn't
look so stunned. Yeah, no, but it's just true. Like, you just look at the numbers.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, yeah, the numbers do not lie. So let's talk about your book and why you wrote it.
Sure. So, well, let's see. So basically, I began to understand that this was true about Hollywood and the studio system. And like I said, I just thought that was so bananas. Again, it's not like we're talking about like it's a little unfair for everybody else. Like if you're not a white man, it's like a little bit harder. It's like insane. It's like basically impossible if you're not a white man, which then you think about the fact that the films we watch affect everything from our job choices to our hobbies to our perceptions of ourselves and other people to even literally our neural pathways. So like as a society, we're basically trapped in this matrix of the white male perspective because of, I mean, for a lot of reasons, but also because of all of the media we consume from their perspective. And so but still a lot of people don't know this and they don't realize it because we're sort of trapped in this matrix. It just feels like their perspective is normal as opposed to one perspective that is not everybody's perspective. So I've been an advocate in this space for a lot of years, and I did a TED talk about this that then went viral. And so then I got the opportunity to write a book. And I was like, yes, of course, I definitely want to write a book about this. And it's just been very exciting to get to expose all of this, because the beautiful thing about a book is that you have so much space to just lay it all out. So getting to lay out like all of the data, and I did over 100 hours of interviews for the book of mostly women and some men up and down the industry, but from all backgrounds, from all different roles in the film industry, and just kind of collated what is true about people's experiences who aren't white dudes. And just to be able to write that all in one place was shocking even for me, and also was very galvanizing, because I think if we don't understand the extent to which the system is rigged against us, then we're just banging our head into a wall, right? Because we keep trying to get through that doorway, and maybe we start blaming ourselves. We're like, oh, well, I just must not be talented enough, or like, well, I guess if I just worked harder or something. And it's like, no, that's not what's happening. What's happening is that this system isn't built for you. So either you go indie, right, but if you understand what you're up against, then you can find ways around and you can figure out how to deal with it. But most people just don't know.
I have two questions. One, do you think that is changing because the amount of people who watch TV and movies is less, and most people watch their YouTube? And number two, I have a story with that. And I don't think I should
Don't get distracted too.
Okay, I won't get distracted. Okay, and then number two, how did that affect you when you finally wrote everything down? Did you feel like, okay, I should quit? Or you were like, maybe I can find a way around this, when it's only a path of like 5%? So your way around would be like, what, 0.05?
Well, no. Okay, so how did it feel? It felt very painful at first, right? To look at that, like I cried for a while. And you definitely have to grieve that. The title of Gloria Steinem's new book is "The Truth Will Set You Free, but First It Will Really Piss You Off." And I feel like that's my experience of writing this book. So I definitely had to grieve it. But then I felt so liberated, because I just feel like all of the rules, I'd been working for 10 years to play by the rules that I had been told to me. And then I was like, I'm not playing this game. Like this game is not for me. So then it's not about trying to get into the 5%. It's about building a whole new thing. And that feels easier because of your first point, which is that they're kind of the dinosaurs sinking into the La Brea tar pits anyway, right? Like they are making themselves irrelevant by not changing on any of this. And so then our job is just to figure out like how to build something. The audience is there. We know the audience is there. We know these things have the potential to make money. So, and getting them to audiences actually isn't the hard thing anymore because of the internet, because of YouTube. So it's all about trying to figure out how to create a sustainable ecosystem for content and revenue that just doesn't even, so that we don't need those gatekeepers.
And I find it interesting nowadays. I was just listening to it, and I don't know, I'm kind of new to listening to the Hollywood stuff. It's so interesting, this business. It's just so many layers. You feel like you get lost in it.
Totally. Well, and there's so much gaslighting going on because they always pretend to be this incredibly liberal institution, right? Like they'll call out other industries or like, you know, social injustice writ large, but they're some of the worst offenders.
Well, my question was going to be, like, I was listening to a lot of stuff, and it turns out, like, they were saying that a lot of times they are going to YouTube and to, like, podcasts and other things like that to find their next thing because, you know, the thinking is there. And I remember in an economy class, they were like, when you have an oligarchy, I forget the word, but y'all who are smarter than me know what I'm talking about.
Or, you know, just Googled it, whatever.
Google it. It's right or another. But anyway, when you have one of those things that's been around for a really long time, the hardest thing to do is to jump on board a new trend. By the time you get to start to make the U-turn, it takes about 6 years. So I was like, if they're making the U-turn now, you've got like 6 years to figure out where you want to go. So in this, you have already jumped ahead of like everyone, since you know you don't have to play it by the rules, since you literally wrote down the rules for everyone. Literally wrote them down. You have 3 films that are, 2 films and one that's coming out this year, and they have awards. So how did you get around the rules? Or how did you build your own rule book?
Well, basically, my whole goal over the last 10 years has been to figure out, because there are 2 main problems, right? How do you finance stuff? And how do you get it distributed to make money from audiences? Like, we know how to make the stuff in the middle. That's not the problem. It's the financing and the distribution. So basically, I've just been laser focused on trying to solve those 2 problems. So I've always found financing outside of the Hollywood system for my projects, from private individuals, from, you know, hustling investors and, you know, doing that whole thing, which is hard. It takes a huge amount of work, and I don't come from money, right? So it's not like, I'm not one of these people who just like, somebody writes me a check. Like, it's a lot. It's taken me years to raise the money for all of my films, but it is possible. And I think particularly now increasingly, investors understand the need to get more voices and different voices into the content, so they're more willing to invest even just from that perspective alone, because Hollywood isn't doing it. And then in terms of distribution, just again, like, keeping focused on who are my audiences, how do I get my stuff to them, and how do I make money off of that, as opposed to like, well, these are the 10 things that I've been told by the system that I should do with my finished film, but just instead trying to solve the actual equation of getting my film out there.
Do you think that's more fulfilling, just to do it yourself, look at it, figure out your own rules, and then be able to tell other people, hey, these are the rules. These are the new rules?
I think so, because then nobody can take it away from you. Like, if you built it yourself, then there's no person on high who can one day be like, actually, you, like, we're done with you or whatever. And then, you know, if you've built it brick by brick, it's your own thing. And also,
you become an expert in it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, and you become an expert in it. But what you're saying is more important than anything I have to say.
because you're the guest. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I was just going to say to your earlier point about now Hollywood is also going to YouTube and going to these alternative platforms to kind of poach independent artists away, because they don't know how to reach audiences anymore, because again, they're the dinosaurs. So then they go and find these talents that have built their own audience bases. So Issa Rae is such a great example of this, right? Like, she built her own audience, and then they came to her and were like, we would also like that audience. Can we now pay you lots of money for your show? And she was like, yes, you may pay me lots of money for my show and HBO, and we'll make it here. So I think sometimes going around the system has the surprising outcome of getting you into the system, but at least then you're getting into the system with power, as opposed to just being chosen.
Oh, absolutely. We totally agree with that. And so what are the top 3 things that you would tell people as they're going to try to create their own, because they recognize the box isn't for them? Either they read your book or someone was like, hey, I think you should go.
Yeah.
Either way.
What's going on here? This doesn't seem right.
That. What are the top 3 things that you would tell them to keep them motivated? Because let's be honest, you said you took years doing, like, getting your movies made, getting the financing. I mean, that's determination that you had. And what kept you going? And what do you think others should know about that?
Yeah. Okay. So this is a fun question. I think the first answer is the honest answer of the thing that kept me going, particularly the first time, was knowing how many mediocre white guys had done it before me. And I was like, if they did it, this can't be impossible. Like, there must be a way for me to do this. So that was kind of the thing that I just like hung on to, of this seems impossible, but it has to be possible. Therefore I could just keep putting the next foot in front of the other. Then I will say that the first day on set of a movie that you wrote and like pulled into existence, however long it took, is like Christmas morning times a gajillion. Like it's the coolest thing to be on, and like these characters that you came up with in your head and this world that you wrote in your living room, like suddenly there are 100 adults running around building this world that came out of your brain, and it's like being a wizard. It's so amazing. So that is that, then it becomes worth all of it. And then I would say the third thing is that the first time you get to, and actually every time you get to sit with an audience and watch your movie when it's finished, is also just an indescribable experience. And to get to, if it's a comedy, to make them laugh, or a drama.
I love it.
I just had an idea. Sorry.
Yeah,
you look like.
I was like.
No, that's her thinking face. Don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I love it. And I guess as we can compare it to is when Joe Sands read, and I thought being grown up was easy, right? I've been telling people for years, you need, a couple of years, it took a while. Anyway, Cat was genius. Anyway, the point is that when you heard that book, like, I heard it, and I, like, was laughing at my own, like, I wrote it. Like, we wrote the little skit in the middle, and I was crying with laughter, and people were laughing with me, and I'm thinking to myself, wow.
That works.
That works, and it is worth the 12 hours of paperwork that I do on Thursdays every time. I'm not counting, like, the weekends and the other times you put it in, but the 12 straight hours I dedicate to paperwork on Thursday. It is worth it. And then all those sleepless nights and all that time where I was just like, why? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So that point is very true.
Totally.
Now we have to know where people can find these movies and check more out about you and buy your book so we can help finance the other movies.
Thank you. It's all on my website, NaomiMcDougallJones.com. Also, the book is available everywhere books are sold, including Audible. It's called The Wrong Kind of Women. And my films, Bite Me and Imagine I'm Beautiful, are available on my website or Amazon, iTunes, any of those places.
Oh, we didn't even get to all the writing she's done.
We
have to come back.
So she's going to come back for a part 2, and we're going to all have witnesses together, and it's going to be nice. We're going to just treat it like that. So thank you so much for coming on, and tell people one more time your website, please.
Sure.
We love
NaomiMcDougallJones.com.
Absolutely. Y'all, please go check her out.
And the
movies. Like, let's help her build that platform for another movie, y'all. We need it.
Thank you.
We need it.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun.
You're welcome.
Jade, would you like to wrap us up? I just wanted to get it in.
Thank you. Thank you for getting it in. You can find out everything your ladies are doing on www.andwethought.com. It might actually be a picture of me doing paperwork. Yeah. How about that? You can find out that too, I guess. And while you're there, on andwethought.com, take a moment, go to Ladies Say It, tab, go down to the middle and see the charities that we probably support. Yes, we know that times are hard and everyone's tightening the buckle for their money, getting their budgets in order, and we understand. So you might not have the resources to give to charity, but you might have some extra clothes or books. Maybe you want to do that. And if you cannot do that, which is totally understandable, maybe you just want to drop by their website, fill out the Contact Us page, and basically you can just say we see you in the work that you're doing and thank you. Thank them for putting out something good in the world. I mean, I appreciate it. I'm sure they will appreciate it. And just remember that wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Winona
and Jade. Bye-bye.